Oh, Jorge, I'm so happy to be untucked. It's just been so hot. Look, all my ice is melted again. Seriously. Oh, hey, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, and I'm untucked. I hope you are too. Oh my goodness, it's been hot in Toronto, and I just have to apologize. There's construction outside, and it's so hot. I did have the windows open. It was very loud, so I closed the windows, but now I have a fan on. So if the sound is weird, that is why. I'm suffering. So let's get to it. Well, we started this episode off, as we always do, with the Queens leaving the main stage, feeling a little worse for wear. Well, everyone except Cracker. Blair was a bit gobsmacked. In her opinion, this was her challenge to win. In my opinion, I think she sees herself as a Gigi Good or a Violet Chachki or, dare I say it, a Naomi Smalls. Bless. Of course, Alexis was concerned as well, and rightly so. She knew that if she didn't win this challenge, that she would be in trouble, and she was right. Before the Queens headed to the main stage, she had asked everyone where she stood with them, and their vague answers spoke volumes. Shay took a moment to thank Cracker and Juju for letting Rue know how helpful she had been during the sewing challenge, but that didn't stop her from noticing how worried Shay looked. In an Untucked exclusive, we saw Juju and Shay discussing the whole India and Alexis situation, and they both agreed they couldn't help feeling that there was a grain of truth in what India was saying. Plus, Alexis more or less shot herself in the foot by trying to vote Shay out in episode 3. Seriously. Of course, Blair wasn't worried about Alexis. She was more upset at Michelle Visage commenting about her wig. Was it dry? Was it wet? I don't know. This whole story that Blair tried to tell the Queens about sitting around so long backstage waiting to go on that her wig dried, I don't buy it. It's called gel. In a room full of gay men, you couldn't find one little dollop? Seriously. Alexis brought up a point which I'm still trying to understand, and Juju is still coming to terms with, where she said that it's been 8 years since either of them have been on RuPaul's Drag Race, and they're competing with younger, prettier queens. Just tell by Juju's face that she didn't enjoy being included in that conversation. Blair started to cheese me off with all her whining about how important this contest was to her, because I kept thinking, so it's not important to anyone else? What, you're the youngest, so you deserve it more? I think the oldest should get it. They lived this long with nothing so far. I'm the oldest. But before Blair could really turn on the waterworks, it was time to vote and return to the main stage, where we all now know Roxy Andrews was this week's lip sync assassin, and Alexis Mateo was voted off. Seriously. And even though her elimination wasn't a real surprise to her, I liked Alexis's attitude, which was, Rue didn't send her home. The Queens did. Well, whatever gets you through the night. On a personal note, I'm sorry that Cracker picked Alexis's name too, because I would have loved to have seen Blair's head explode next week if that hadn't been the case. I'm terrible, Muriel. As we've come to expect, Michelle Visage popped by for a farewell visit, but seemed surprised by Alexis saying that she had expected it. Her reason, well, the Queens were closer to Blair. Personally, I think they're just not threatened by her. Of course, Michelle asked Alexis about all this India shade that was thrown around, and the only thing that Alexis could say for sure was that there would be no more words spoken between her and India, which I think could be a show on its own because the two of them live and work in Las Vegas. They could call it Strip Queens. I'd watch that. Back in the workroom, Alexis was still stewing over Indiagate, but she made a good point. She's 40, and India doesn't pay her bills. That's the thing I like about being older, is that you just don't have time for these childish shenanigans. Or I'm just in bed earlier and I miss them. Either way, it seemed to help Alexis deal with her elimination just that little bit better. What also helped her deal with her elimination was getting a farewell message from her friend and drag son, Aries Mateo Kelly. And who wouldn't feel better after getting a little video message from that little cutie? I'm so serious. Well, I, for one, was sorry to see Alexis go, not just because she was my drag crush, but because she's an exciting queen to watch. And I hope at some point that we do get to the bottom of this whole India Gate. But even if we don't, who cares? So, I guess we've only got one episode left for Untucked this season. What did you think? Personally, if I don't get an answer to this India Gate, I may flip a table. But I'm not going to get my panties in a bunch over it because, well, I'm not wearing any because I'm untucked. And I hope you can stay untucked for as long as possible, too. Until next week, please stay healthy. Please stay safe. Wash your hands, you filthy animals. And if you want to support me, all the links are down below in the description box. Until next week, miss me. Seriously, more hair. There's no more ice at all. Tepid cocktail. Now there's a drag queen.